Alrighty, hello there, here for my live post on breaking down the Jasmine pose and giving you some tips to help you nail that. So hopefully you're here watching it now, but I know some of you messaged me that you wouldn't be able to, but of course you'll be able to watch the replay after it's done, so you can check back to it. And of course, if you have any questions, you can message now in the comments or email me, reach out. I'm here for you to help explain it and help you with those struggles so that you can really get your Jasmine. So in the Jasmine pose, I tend to think of the Jasmine as it's a horizontal pose, and I train clients with this being their one of their first kind of poses that they do that progresses them into inversions. Because the progression with the Jasmine is you would be horizontal, and then it can progress into a semi-inverted position where your head's below your hips. And I'm going to go through all of that. So let's just look at the breakdown of the Jasmine. You want to always think about, and with all of your poses that you're doing, you want to think about where are the points of contact, or what are my points of contact, where is the push-pull, but also I want you to know the progressions and know how to exit. And I'm going to go over all of that today as well. So let's look at it. We're going to start with the inside leg hooked. So it's a deep knee pit. You're going to squeeze that knee, heel to the butt. We're going to tip over to the side here. And you want to really look at the form here. You want to try to create equal triangle spaces here. So this triangle space should equal this triangle space. I have a pull and a push. So I have thumbs down, thumbs up. That push-pull should stack those shoulders and create a nice even balance between the push and pull. So that hooked leg, heel to butt. If you're horizontal with that, then your hip, knee, and shoulder should be fairly in a straight line there. So this push is coming from the shoulder and back, and again, pull. Heel to the butt. I'm going to use my side waist to help lift and hold me up as I bring the standing leg to the back side of the pole. So it's going to be the front of that quad into the pole. So I push, pull, stack the shoulders, lift with that side waist to kick that leg into the pole. So kind of imagine you're kicking a soccer ball there. So that leg's nice and tight and strong, heel to the butt, big push, big pull, and then again, I want to look at those triangle spaces, and they should be equal shoulders stacked, okay? To exit, I'm going to option 1. I use that waist to lift that hip and pivot that foot back to the floor, or I could pull up into a side climb. Now, just hanging out there is a good drill, and we'll talk about some of the variations here in a second as well. But what you want to look for, okay? When you're in this push-pull, you don't want this bottom shoulder to be jacked up by the ear, okay? So I want to keep that push coming from the back and the shoulder to keep that balanced. When I lift that leg, I want to make sure that this is, again, strong, that I haven't sunk down into that shoulder, okay? Because then those triangle spaces, this triangle and this triangle, aren't balanced, and I'm just sort of hanging and putting pressure on that shoulder. I also want to make sure that I use that side waist to lift that hip up. I don't want my butt and hip to sag down. That puts that shoulder out of line, so I want to be lifted, okay? So again, you want to think of that side waist as lifting the hip up towards the ceiling. So your push-pull points, okay? Push and pull. I'm going to pull with that top hand, push with the bottom hand. I'm pulling back with that top leg, and I'm pushing the bottom quad into the pole. So all of your push-pull points should be balanced. But then you also have the lift of that side waist, or that hip, that's going to help lift you and hold you up there. So, points of contact. Hands, obviously, back of the knee pit. All right, you want that strong, and the front of that bottom quad, okay? Look at it on this side. So again, if I hook, I'm going to push, pull, stack those shoulders, use that waist to help lift it up, and I hold it strong there. So this can turn into, so we're in this horizontal position here. Some Jasmine variations are with a bent leg. Again, I'm still pushing with that bottom hand or bottom shoulder. That push, I'm still pulling that bottom leg into the pole. Top hand could come off, so there's an option there. You can extend that leg, have the hand off, okay? We can twist that out. The whole while just keeping that shoulder protected. Pivot down or your side climbing up. To progress from there, you're in the horizontal pose. Once you're good and strong with that, and you can let go with that top hand, as long as that bottom shoulder's not creeped up here, then you can start sliding that bottom hand down where your head would be below your hips. What happens when you do that is that you have to push those hips forward so that you're getting instead of being flexed at the hip, you're going to be pushing that hip forward, extending it. So if we were in that option, or ready for that option, again, good and strong here, you'd be able to let go. You're going to let that bottom hand slide down the pole as you start to push those hips forward. Again, flattening the hips here, watching that bottom shoulder. It's rolled back and down. It's not creeped up here by your ear. You're really lifted. Okay, so you can open that up. When you come back around, using that side waist to help bring you up nose to knee. Now again, you could pivot to the floor, or you could bring that outside arm up to pull up to your side climb or wherever you're going with that. So, progression is dropping the head down and watching your shoulder the whole way through. Again, the difference is those hips are really pushed forward there. And I'll go through it on this side too. So, I've stacked the shoulders, shoulder over top, equal triangles, push-pull, pushing that thigh into the pole, using that waist to lift that hip. Again, I can take that top hand off when I'm ready, as long as that shoulder is protected. Or I'm going to slide that hand down, which starts to put me in that inverted position. My head's lower than the hips as I push everything forward. And again, I'm watching that bottom shoulder. Come back up. Wherever I'm going with that, you can take it wherever you need to go. So, exit. You want to always know your exit. So again, you can pivot that foot down, stepping out of it, or you're going to pull up, or you're taking it to a Superman, or wherever you're going with that. Points of contact, make sure they're good and strong. You know where they are. Big push-pull, top arm, pulling, bottom arm, pushing. Again, from the shoulder and back. Same with the legs. Top leg, pulling back. Bottom leg, pushing into the pole. And that side waist is lifting. So drills to work on. Your pole crunches right here on the pole, pushing that hip forward. Again, that's going to help you when you start to take that Jasmine more inverted. But any of those crunches here, you're working that side waist. That's going to bring you up to be able to come out of it. Because as soon as you put your head down in your Jasmine, then you have to work a lot harder to pull back up. So you have to be prepared for that. So your crunches, your side climb. The reason your side climb is good as well, not only does it toughen up the back of that knee and make that strong, when you crunch the side waist, that's similar to when you have to lift that hip up to help support you in the Jasmine. So really thinking about that crunch there. And then just this drill itself, I call this the thigh rest drill because you're kind of resting your thigh on, but it really is a Jasmine. But you're pushing and just holding this in that position, not letting your hips sink, not letting that shoulder get out of line. So you want that triangle to be good and strong, and I'm using that waist to keep it lifted. Here's the other drill that I do with my students. Tap, lift, tap, lift. And then make them pull up, okay? So there's lots of things that you can add into it. But you're watching and always protecting your shoulder, specifically the bottom shoulder, okay? So hopefully that helps you. And let me know. You can reply back here, you can email me, or just make a message in the group, and I'll see if I can clarify any of that for you.